Hey, what up, guys? It's Nick DeQuan. So we got a post for another highest mathematical edge pick. Yesterday, gave you guys the Kansas City Royals on the money line. That was the lowest risk pick I've had for a highest mathematical edge pick. It was our only pick for the day. My model, the more data it's getting, it's not, hallucinating edge as much, right? Because these predictions are becoming more accurate. So a lot of these kind of like false edges that I had in the past aren't coming up anymore. So the volume's kind of dropping down because of that. So I only had one pick yesterday. It was on the Royals. I only risked a little over 1%. So considering on average for highest mathematical edge picks, I'm risking usually at least over 1.5% right now. So that was in the lower end, and the Royals performed really well. They put up 3 straight runs. They're up 3-2 in the top of the ninth. Yankees get a double. They win 4-3. It happens. Royals have a very weak bullpen. They're 28th, 27th out of 30th in the MLB, so that is always a vulnerability to have when you bet on some of these teams that are underdogs and just don't perform very well, especially as the game gets late. Being up 1, you're not really giving yourself much of a cushion if your bullpen's performing that poorly. Saying that, though, we still have been on a crazy hot streak, currently 11-4-1 in my last 16. This week, I'm up 7.02 units. Like I always say, if you want access to more than just this highest mathematical edge pick, which I strongly advise, you can go to my X account at NickTheQuant44, where I post all of my picks daily, immediately whenever my model on them. My Instagram account, NickTheQuant, is more so focused on my day results, and then more insight on the highest mathematical edge picks. And then here on YouTube, I post this video analysis daily on whatever the highest mathematical edge pick is. So saying that, we can get into what the highest mathematical edge pick is today, that being the Atlanta Braves on the money line. I got them at minus 107. My model has them at a 57.92% probability, denoting strong financial but also high mathematical edge on the Braves here. Their financial advantage is denoted by the fact that they're a 12.05% expected value. So, we've got them at minus 107 odds, but a 57.92% probability. That's strong edge right there. Again, always nice to see strong mathematical edge. A lot of times I'm betting on underdogs, so mathematically, you're not betting on a team that has all this edge per se. As far as the math goes, you're really just trying to take advantage of pricing and exploit pricing. And in the long run, if the math is accurate, that'll make you money. But it is always nice to have both pricing advantage and mathematical advantage coincide 1-to-1. So saying that, we can get into now the fine details of this pick. I'll take you guys through the 9 inner models of my ensemble. The probabilities I'll be speaking on are the calibrated probabilities. So those are the finalized probabilities of all 9 models. So they're the calibrated probabilities that come from that, whatever the initial prediction was, based on the empirical win rate of that initial prediction. And then we'll get into our second layer and third layer of calibration that is put on the that initial ensemble output. So let's just burn through this right now. So Model 1 had the Red Sox at a 48.75%. Model 2 had the Red Sox at a 58.82. Model 3 had the Braves at a 61.73. Model 4 had the Braves at a 57.78. Model 5 had the Braves at a 33.33. Model 6 had the Braves at a 51.89. Model 7 had the Braves at a 57.46. Model 8 had the Braves at a 33.33. Model 9 had the Red Sox at a 58.82. So as far as that interior model agreement goes, it's pretty split. The Braves fell into some contrarian positions, but those contrarian positions don't have super high sample sizes right now. So while obviously those are taken into account into that initial probability, if they have less sample size, the beta of those distributions is significantly wider. So you don't put as much weight into those predictions out of the rest of the models. You want to put as much weight into the most reliable grounded probabilities possible, that being ones that have as much sample as possible. So saying that, the Braves initially come out as a favorite at a 51.78% probability. Now, when my ensemble model has been producing 51% probabilities, it's been performing really well. Currently up to this point in the season, it's a 72% win rate. So using second layer calibration via empirical Bayes, that brings the Braves up now to a 59.3% probability. So now to finalize what we're going to be doing, we got to see, okay, what market region are the Braves residing in today? So the market region the Braves are in today, let me just real quick, there we go. The market region the Braves are in today is pretty indifferent. I always say this when I go over the market regions. If there's a region a team falls in that's anything, a little above 50 to a 55%, you can argue it's pretty indifferent. You got to take into account variance as well. And now, if you have a massive sample size, thousands upon thousands of games, okay. But if you're in the hundreds, you've got to account for how much variance can shift that. Or again, right, the beta of the distribution, meaning what is the potential of the lower bound, the upper bound, and then the mean or the expected value of the distribution. If you have less sample size, that can really teeter a lot. So again, you got to take that into account. So saying that the Braves, the market region they're in right now for this game, has a 55% win rate on the season. So definitely not a disadvantage relative to the market. It's better to be on the winning side of the market than the losing side. But what matters is, okay, whatever market region a team falls in and however it performs, how does that size up relative to their pricing? Because again, we're betting on sports here, not, investing in the stock market and whatnot. But again, you should also, in the stock market, that also comes into account as far as trying to measure out the value of an investment relative to how much you should be risking on a certain position. So again, right, Braves 55%. So now we can look at is relative to their pricing at minus 107, that is advantageous. But now we have to still, though, apply their market region as calibration to that second layer probability to get us a finalized probability. And when we do that, the Braves come out to be a 57.92% probability. So kind of coming full circle, a 57.92% probability at minus 107 odds gives us good mathematical edge for sure, but very strong pricing edge. That's being again denoted by their 12.05% expected value. So we're going to be risking 2.14% here, or for me, 2.14 units. 1% of my bankroll is 1 unit for me. And so again, kind of just bringing this full circle. Got the Braves on the money line. Let's continue just chugging along. We've been performing really well, reaching a good point in the MLB season where now I have a lot of data at my disposal. My model's been performing significantly more accurately. My past 16 bets hitting over 70%. A lot of profit. So this is Hershey, by the way. He likes to sit with me while I do my work. And so that's where we're at. But as always, thank you for watching. Again, check out my X account for all my picks, Nick the Quant 44. And thanks for watching.